Welcome to the 264th episode of the Reading and Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Rutherford. Stay tuned for my interview with Sherrilyn Kenyon, best-selling author of urban fantasy and paranormal romance. Stay tuned for the interview. This episode of the Reading and Writing Podcast is brought to you by Libro.fm. Libro.fm is the first and only company which lets you purchase audiobooks directly from your favorite local bookstore. Support your favorite local bookstore, and you can pick from more than 125,000 audiobooks, including New York Times bestsellers and recommendations from booksellers. You'll get the same audiobooks at the same price as the largest audiobook company out there. You know who I'm talking about, but you'll be part of a different story, one that supports your local bookstore. If you're new to audiobooks, they're the perfect way to get more books into your busy life. If you already love audiobooks and don't know what to listen to next, check out the recommendations and curated list from the people who know audiobooks best, your local bookseller. There's a special offer now for Reading and Writing Podcast listeners. Get 3 audiobooks for the price of one, $14.99, with your first month of membership. Just use the code RWPodcast. Again, that's Libro.fm, purchasing audiobooks from your local bookstore, and use the code RWPodcast. So welcome back to the Reading and Writing Podcast. My guest today is number one New York Times bestselling writer Sherrilyn Kenyon, author of many novels, including the series The Dark Hunters, The League, and Chronicles of Nick. Kenyon's most recent novel, Stygian, is the latest in her Dark Hunter series. Sherrilyn, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Great. Well, if someone listening hasn't read a Dark Hunters novel, how would you describe the Dark Hunter series, and how would you describe your latest novel, Stygian?
Oh, they're mad, bad, and immortal. They're fun. I don't know. This is like asking me to describe my children. They're brilliant. I don't know. that sounds terrible. Wait a minute. No, gosh, when my kids were little, I had them convinced. They started grade school, and they actually introduced themselves as, they'd give their name and go, "I'm handsome baby boy genius." And they didn't think that was funny. They still don't. They're like, "Mom, you embarrassed me horribly." So I'm a bad person to ask. But Stygian is about the bad guys. I finally got to actually, I say a couple of years ago, I have this bad, like, time dysplasia. But, I guess it's been, what year are we in? 2019. So 12 years ago. Yeah. Oh my gosh. 13 years ago, I went and did One Silent Night, where I got to go into Stryker's point of view, who's the main bad guy. But this looks at his surviving son now. But anyway, so it goes into Urian's point of view, where I start at the beginning, kind of like I did with Ash and Styx. So you get to see when the first generation of bad guys were cursed. In my series, the vampires don't live forever. They only live for 27 years. And what they have to do is take human souls to live another day. So it kind of examines what would you do if your entire race was cursed for something they didn't do, and you found yourself, there's no way to avert other than take a human life to live one more minute. And so it examines that very first generation where they were born into this curse that they had no part in, and having to come to grips with, I'm going to die at 27 unless I do something really foul. And the ones who chose to live and the ones that chose to die. And so anyway, I think it's kind of cool, but what do I know? I'm the mom. So,
well, do you remember the original idea that led you to writing the first Dark Hunter novel?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was one of those things where I was working as an editor for one of those small press magazines where, they pay you in copies and love. My boss was sitting there, God, we could barely cover ink and paper. And we're, had an office of 2, him and I. And, Mike's sitting there. He's like, "Sherry, I need you to write me a serial where we can actually have subscribers who will pay us so that one day we can afford food." And okay, can I write vampires? And he looks at me going, "What part of science fiction on the masthead did you miss?" And I said, "The part where I get to write vampires." And it's like, Okay, whatever. If you can get us one more subscriber than the two we already have, I'll be happy. So I said, okay. And then I realized I have no ideas. So, vampires seemed like a good idea. Oh, okay, I'll get back to you on that. So at the same time, the other job that I had was working for a local newspaper. And we were doing this whole thing on, um, it was Halloween time. So one of the assignments I had was doing these articles on myths and legends. So I decided I was going to be really studious and use this as an opportunity to go suck up to my professors. And after class, I'm in there talking to my professor during his office hours. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be studious. And so I've done research. And I've noticed that a lot of the legends go back to ancient Greece. And no one's ever picked on the god Apollo. And he's god of, oh my gosh, he's god of the sun and he's god of plagues. And then I stopped and I went, yeah, no one's ever done that. Yeah, wait a minute, I got an idea. And I literally like ran out of his office in the middle of the interview, which, that there's so much for my bonus points in class, right? I went back to my dorm. I'm like, okay, oh my God, I got a great idea for a series. Yeah, we can have the Dark Hunters because his sister's Artemis. She's got us to the hunt. They're twins. Oh my God, we can work with this. Holy cow. And it just kind of everything coalesced in that one heartbeat. And so then I started going, okay, and we've got like these great characters from others. I've been running this high fantasy series that nobody would buy. So I'm like, yeah, we got like this great thief, Talon. Yeah, he's a kilt. That'll work. So yeah. Next day in class, my professor's like, did we ever finish that interview? No, but I have an awesome series.
So, well, among the many characters that you've written, do you have a favorite?
All of them. That's like asking which son's my favorite. They're all my favorites, unless they've done something really bad, like set my kitchen on fire.
Well, I know that you've now written more than 100 novels, and as I mentioned earlier, you have three active series. Can you still remember selling your first novel? What was that experience like for you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was amazing. It was, vindication. Yay! For 5.5 seconds till I realized I had dirty dishes in the sink. I had to go clean. But yeah, no, it was like, oh my God, I made it. I made it. I forgot how to dial my mother's phone. I'm severely dyslexic. And it was a number I'd had my whole life. It's actually an easy number, 996-5747. How easy is this number? And it literally took me 45 minutes to dial my mother to tell her.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? That is how bad I am dyslexic. So
And
yeah.
how did you find out? Through a phone call or a letter?
I don't do anything the normal way. Most people, they call you. No, again, worked all these odd jobs and my editor had assigned me here. There's a new editor in town. You go call her and interview her. I'm like, I've got a submission with her. Why would you do this to me? So yeah, I called her to interview her and I'm like, hi, I'm trying to sound really professional and not nervous at all. And as soon as I gave her my name, she's like, I know you. I was going to call you later. And I'm like, oh God, she's going to reject me in person. I've hit a whole new level of hell. I'm not calling about the submission. I swear to God. She's like, no, no, no. I'm going to buy the book. I went, what? And then I heard nothing. And it was like,
That's great.
yeah, and
Well,
then I think I hung up on her because wait, what was her phone number? And then I had to go look that up. Oh my God, it was a disaster.
when that happened, did you ever envision that you would have the publishing success that you now have?
Of course, I'm a writer. I've imagined being queen of the universe. No and yes. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say no. I did not imagine being J.K. Rowling. Of course, we're writers. We all imagine that. But no, yes, no, yes, no.
So what is the writing process like for you? Do you outline your novels, or is it all organic for you?
I'm a bad pantser. I tried plotting once and then I lost those notes and couldn't read them when I found them. So my handwriting's atrocious.
And I know that the publishing world has changed a lot while your career has flourished. If you were starting over today, would you consider self-publishing, or do you think you would pursue a traditional publishing deal?
I think that for me, well, I do hybrid stuff now. So some of my stuff I have done independently. I think every writer has to make that determination for what it makes them happiest. I would never tell anybody you should do this or that. Life is your own happiness. So, I don't know. What would I do today? It depends. Well, yeah, I don't know. I had so many doors slammed on me. My career's kind of been flourished and floundered.
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't know what I would do. I'm glad I don't have to find out.
Yeah.
Or maybe I will. I don't know. Neither success nor failure is ever permanent. So who knows? Knock wood. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I try not to look forward. It's kind of a scary place.
And so when will your next novel be published?
September. What month are we in? It's been that kind of month. It's January already.
Yes,
Holy, where
January.
did that? Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
That one is At Death's Door. So that's the last of my trilogy for the Deadman's series, Deadman's Cross, and I'm kind of sad to see my pirates go. Yeah, it's
Have you enjoyed writing pirates?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I started doing them back in the '90s, and I actually had a lot of paranormal in the first two that I did. But my editor at the time was like, "Told you can't do that. Take that out." So the most she would do is let me put shrunken heads in there. But yeah, Laura was hilarious. I actually had Cameron Jack, who's the heroine of the first of the Deadman's Cross, Deadman Walking, in there, and she was like, "No, no, 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 no. Take her out. Take her out. No, please, can I have a mermaid? No, you can't." So yeah, it was fun to actually get to finally write the series, and I hate to let them go again. Oh, I still have two more books I'd actually like to come back to and write one day, maybe.
Gotcha.
I never say never.
So when you're talking to writers now, given your success and the number of novels that you've written, what advice do you have for aspiring writers?
Never say never. you know, Never give up, never surrender. Yes, think your Galaxy Quest. Don't listen to anybody when they try to give you advice. We're all trying to figure it out every day. Just listen to your characters. It's not an easy business, but it's a fun business. Just, we do this for love, and always remember that, don't get bogged down by anything. My son's a writer, and he's always, Mom, you don't know how hard it is to be a writer. You're just going to stare at him going, really? You're not going to say that to me again, are you? But yeah, just, enjoy it while you can. Listen to those characters. They will always guide you through. And you do forget every time you finish a book how to write the next one. So that's normal.
And so, what do you feel like your biggest challenges have been in your career?
Every word on that page. Yeah. Oh God, what hasn't been? I always say there are two things you don't want to ask me about: publishing and pregnancy, because I'll scare you off of both. The only thing that has not been a challenge is finding a new character that intrigues me. But outside of that, everything. The business is challenging. One of the things that I do in workshops is I don't lie to people, which you can see the look of horror in their faces. It's like my children think they're the only ones I traumatize. But no, I mean, gosh, every bit of it's challenging. Always trying to find a new way to market the books. Always, you know, gosh, everything about writing is challenging.
And do you feel that you have had editors who didn't really see your vision? Has that
Oh,
been?
absolutely, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I've had editors who've actually gone in and the original manuscript of Born of Night, there are entire paragraphs in there I didn't write, where my editor's like, "What did you do? I did not put bullets in that manuscript, people." Yeah, it's like, where did that section come from? That's not my work. So yeah, those are always fun little nuggets.
And
And the
and
code,
so
I did not write that code.
what kept you going through those situations and those challenges?
The readers and the characters. There's nothing better than to have that one reader come up to you and go, "I love the book. I love what you did. I love the characters." And the people in your head. It's you know, they those what I tell my son, what I tell all writers in the workshops when I'm teaching them is, the way I look at characters is they're real people on some level. And I think that what they do as writers is they walk among us and they're window shopping, going, I like that book you wrote, but you're just not the one to tell my story. And I think they go around to each of us and they find the one whose voice speaks to them. And they go, you're the one I need to tell my story. And so they pick us. And to me, we're almost under an obligation to tell the story for the people who come to us. And I think the greatest tragedy is when that writer quits writing. And it breaks my heart because, I've been doing this now for almost 40 years. Good Lord, yeah, I am that old. But yeah, all the friends that I've seen over the years who've just stopped writing for whatever reason. And when I think of all the people that are in their heads that aren't there or won't ever be heard, imagine if J.K. Rowling did not write Harry Potter, if Chaucer did not write the Canterbury Tales. And it's like, write them, just get it out there, please don't let those voices go unheard. Don't be let Whoville not go. It breaks my heart. So as writers, tell it, even if it doesn't get published in your lifetime, maybe your kids or your grandkids will find it and go, oh my god, like Kate Chopin, get it out there, let it be heard.
And were there writers that you looked to in terms of how you wanted, in terms of career, how you wanted your career to go?
I would have liked to have been J.K. Rowling, but yeah, easy. Hey, look, I had a dream. I woke up and perfect, there it was. Yeah, life is life. So what is it John Lennon said? Life's what happens while you're making other plans.
Right. And so, do you read a lot now?
I read my son's book because he rewrites it all the time. It's like, would you just get it finished? Yeah, he's very prolific, but he keeps constantly rewriting. So between his work and mine, and my other son, I've got two writers in my family now. They're constantly drowning me with their stuff, which is awesome. But they've got to stay focused and quit rewriting it. They got to get to the end.
And do you spend much time researching your novels, or doing any research in terms of legend and history?
Oh, constantly. I've done that my whole life. I grew up just, I was that kid in school with the giant big tomes, and everybody would laugh at me and be like, what is wrong with her? I'm working my biceps apparently. But no, I've always been a huge history buff, and my professors all love me. It's like, yes, yeah. My poor dad did not. He's like, why are you wasting money on that? Well, if we ever bring Chaucer back, Dad, I can communicate with him. That's what I'm here for.
Well, that's all the questions that I have. Did you have anything else that you wanted to discuss in terms of your new novel, Stygian?
Um, Not that I can think of.
Great. Well,
Nothing. Yeah.
well,
Bless the
again,
fans. I love them for loving the book.
great. Well, again, we've been speaking with New York Times bestselling writer Sherrilyn Kenyon. Her latest Dark Hunters novel is Stygian. It's in bookstores now, so go grab a copy. And Sherrilyn, thanks for doing this interview.
Oh no, thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun.